Thanks for tuning in. During the era of muscle cars, station wagons with V8s also ruled the roads. These cars were the best options for hauling families and their gear. In this video, we'll discuss the 10 fastest station wagons ever made. Also, while you're here, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us to create more automotive content. Number 10, 1955 to 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air Nomad. A two-door wagon with fins? What's not to like about the Bel Air Nomad? It's one of the most iconic and desirable station wagons ever produced. The 1955 to 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air Nomad was designed by GM's legendary head of design, Harley Earl. Unlike other wagons of that time, it featured a distinctive sloped B-pillar and wraparound rear window, giving it a sporty, sleek appearance. Harley excelled at building performance vehicles at Chevrolet, equipping the model with a 265 cubic inch V8, available in 162 or 180 horsepower versions. Later in 1957, he equipped the car with a 283 cubic inch V8 engine that featured fuel injection, pushing power to 383 horsepower. At the start, the Bel Air Nomad featured a 3-speed manual transmission as standard and a 2-speed Powerglide automatic transmission as an option. However, the final year saw great improvements, as buyers could choose a 4-speed manual transmission. During that time, drag racing was the order of the day, and the Bel Air didn't disappoint, as the earlier models produced in 1955 could pull from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 9 seconds. The fuel-injected version performed even better, hitting 60 in just 7.7 seconds. Talking about the engine alone is like leaving the cake half-baked. The car had a new Chevrolet chassis featuring a lower stance for better handling. Additionally, Chevy had equipped it with front coil springs and rear leaf springs for a super comfortable ride. Number 9, 1957 to 1958 Buick Roadmaster Estate. The Buick Roadmaster Estate wagon was equipped with Buick's 364 cubic inch nailhead V8 engine. In 1957, this engine produced 300 horsepower, and in 1958, it was increased to 305 horsepower depending on the carburetor setup. The nailhead V8 was known for its strong, low-end torque, which was beneficial for a large wagon that would perfectly haul a family in their gear and still give enough punch on the road. The engine was mated to Buick's Dynaflow automatic transmission. The 1958 model introduced a new triple-turbine Dynaflow, designed to improve performance and efficiency over the previous twin-turbine version. With gargantuan dimensions, 18 feet long, just over 6.5 feet wide, 5 feet high, and a weight of 4,700 pounds, no one would think the Roadmaster Estate would perform very well. But the car proved capable as it pulled from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 11 seconds, and ran the quarter mile in 18 seconds. Number 8, 1963 Pontiac Tempest Wagon 421 Super Duty. The 1963 Pontiac Tempest Wagon 421 Super Duty was produced as part of Pontiac's efforts to dominate drag racing and showcase its performance capabilities. As such, it became a rare and exotic factory car, but its performance always makes many car enthusiasts go nuts. The heart of the Super Duty wagon was a 421 cubic inch V8 engine with a high compression ratio of around 12:1. Forged pistons and connecting rods, a solid lifter crankshaft, and dual 4-barrel carburetors. This engine produced around 405 horsepower and 425 pound-feet of torque. The engine was mated to a heavy-duty 4-speed manual transmission, and during the races it turned heads with a 12-second quarter-mile run. The car could pull from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6 seconds, which was exceptionally quick for any vehicle of that era, let alone a station wagon. Pontiac was very keen on performance when designing the 1963 Pontiac Tempest Wagon 421 Super Duty. It had a unibody construction and aluminum body panels to reduce weight. Additionally, the division used a rear transaxle design, which helped improve weight distribution and handling. Number 7, 1969 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser 442. The 1969 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser 442 wagon was a unique and rare vehicle that combined a station wagon's practicality with a muscle car's performance. The car was built to cater to performance enthusiasts who also needed the utility of a station wagon. It became a trend in the late 1960s when American automakers experimented with high-performance versions of family cars. Under the hood was the 400 cubic inch V8 engine that ruled the 442 packages at the time. In the Vista Cruiser 442, this engine reportedly produced around 350 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. The engine transferred power to either a 4-speed manual transmission or a 3-speed automatic transmission and could do wonders in drag racing. The Vista Cruiser accelerated from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.5 seconds and completed the quarter mile in around 14.5 seconds. A heavy-duty suspension contributed much to the car's performance and handling. Also, the dual exhaust system helped the engine breathe better, improving performance. GM equipped the car with performance-oriented gear ratios, which were easily selected to balance acceleration with the wagon's practical use. At the same time, the larger brakes were added to handle the increased power and weight. Number 6. 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS Wagon. The Chevy Chevelle SS Wagon was produced from 1964 to 1977, but the 1970 model became a jaw-dropper because of its exceptional power and capability. The 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS Wagon was produced as a high-performance variant of the standard wagon. Chevy intended to cater to enthusiasts who wanted the practicality of a station wagon, combined with muscle car performance. Considering the later 60s and early 70s were the periods when many preferred higher power and greater space for family travel, the Chevelle wagon was embraced. It's worth noting that this high-performance variant wasn't sold badged by Chevy. Instead, car enthusiasts bought these V8s and added the SS badges themselves. The 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS Wagon debuted with either 350, 396, or 454 cubic inch V8 engines. Car enthusiasts highly loved the 454 because it was rated at 360 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, but some sources suggest that these figures were underrated with actual output being higher. The engine was mated to either a 3-speed automatic transmission, likely the turbo-hydromatic 400, or 4-speed manual transmission, which helped pull the 6-seater wagon from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6 seconds. The car was heavier but ran the quarter mile in nearly 14 seconds, just like the coupe version. This incredible performance was due to upgraded springs, shocks, and stabilizer bars that improved handling, while the functional hood scoops helped cool the engine and add to the aggressive appearance. Are you ready for our top 5 fastest station wagons? Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, which helps us create more automotive content. Okay, back to the list. Number 5. 1970 Dodge Super B Wagon. The 1970 Dodge Super B Wagon wasn't factory offered. However, it is a one-of-a-kind creation that puts a whole new spin on the muscle car dream. The car was based on the 1970 Dodge Super B Chrysler B body cars such as the Roadrunner and Charger. The Super B Wagon was created by modifying a low-mileage Dodge Coronet wagon. It was offered with a 440 cubic inch V8 engine from the 70 Barracuda. The engine was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission that enabled the car to pull from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.3 seconds and run a quarter mile in 13.8 seconds. The Super B Wagon boasts a sleek exterior that draws attention and improves performance due to a reduced drag coefficient. It also has heavy-duty suspension and performance brakes that enable better handling during tracks. This wagon embraced the limited slip differential and performance-oriented axle ratios that also improved its performance. Number 4. 1971 Oldsmobile Cutless Cruiser Wagon. The 1971 Oldsmobile Cutless Cruiser Wagon is one of the rarest and quickest wagons ever made. At that time, Oldsmobile usually sold the Cutless series called the Vista Cruisers in coupes and sedans, but a few experimental wagons were made. The Cutless wagon was a rare wagon breed. The base model produced 185 horsepower from its V8 engine, but in general, the Cutless Cruisers were offered with 350 cubic inch or 455 cubic inch rocket V8 engines. These engines were mated to either a 3-speed automatic transmission as a standard or a 2-speed automatic as an option. The 455 V8 could pull the car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.5 seconds and finish the quarter mile in approximately 16.5 seconds. Every time the Cutless Cruiser wagon drove along the road, many stared and laughed at it. The design was unique with a raised roof and skylights over the second and third row seats, accommodating up to 9 passengers. Word has it that this family-oriented wagon was also very comfortable to ride in. Number 3. 1972 Buick GSX Stage 1 Wagon. The 1972 Buick GSX Stage 1 wagon wasn't produced from the factory. Instead, it's a unique wagon created by a Buick enthusiast from Texas. He wanted a matching wagon for his 1970 Buick GSX Coupe, a no-nonsense muscle car of the decade based on the GS 455 model. The Buick enthusiast swapped the legendary 1972 Buick GSX Stage 1 wagon front clip with that of his 1970 Buick and installed the 455 cubic inch Stage 1 V8 engine. It's believed to produce around 360 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque, powerful enough to pull the car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.5 seconds. This rare car could finish the quarter mile in just 14 seconds, beating some of the best offerings of the decade. The wagon had distinctive GSX side stripes and decals and a hood-mounted factory tachometer. The owner sold it to a buyer in Chicago who drove it for nearly 20 years. The Chicago owner later sold it to the current buyer, who modified it further for drag racing. After the modification, it finished a quarter mile in under 12 seconds. Number 2. 1974 Ford Country Squire. The Ford Country Squire is a full-size station wagon assembled by American automaker Ford from 1950 to 1991. It is the top-level station wagon of the Ford division and is distinguished by its wood-grain body-side design. While the model has 8 generations, the 1974 model made the difference as it had 5 miles per hour bumpers added to the rear, a transistorized ignition system, and a new hood ornament. Under the hood, a 460 cubic inch V8 engine was introduced after the 429 V8 was dropped. The 460 V8 produced about 220 horsepower, which wasn't very impressive considering the muscle cars of the 60s had better outputs. However, we can forgive Ford because the American automotive industry faced many challenges during the 70s, ranging from the oil crisis to emission regulations. With the engine mated to a 3-speed automatic transmission, it pulled from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 12 seconds and ran the quarter mile in 18 seconds. Number 1. 1978 Dodge Magnum wagon. One of the more well-known modern wagon examples is the Dodge Magnum SRT-8, but the original Dodge Magnum debuted in 1978. While no wagons were offered in 1978, one of the rare Magnum wagons was discovered. Jim, the virtual artist behind the J-Lord8 social media account, showcased a wagon model with NASCAR-appropriate tires and wheels. The 78 Magnum Coupe was turned into a 5-door wagon that revealed the 70s wagon DNA. While few details were revealed, we understand that the 440 cubic inch V8 used in the 78 Magnum produced 195 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. The engine in the original Magnum Coupe could pull from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 8 seconds, meaning it could pull the wagon with the same momentum. Thanks for watching. Which of these 10 classic station wagons is your favorite? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the like button and hit the bell icon to be notified when we release new content.